Welcome everybody. As you can tell from probably the thumbnail, uh, and from the events that leaded up to today on stream, we are going to be talking about a tier list. I'm gonna break it down in three different parts for you guys, so you guys can understand. We're gonna have the solo tier list, as you can see over here. We're gonna have the teams tier list. Then we're gonna have class skills plus passive tier list. What this one entitles is how I'm gonna rank certain setups on classes like Rush Warrior with Survivor Spoils, which is the healing passive, and so on and so forth. So each class will have about three that's going to go in here, and I'm going to rate them so that way you can see how I feel about them. Do this because there's one that deserves to be down there. All right, so if you don't know, and if you haven't tried all the classes, I hope this is a good guideline for how someone. I've put a lot of time into the game. I have every class mastered, tried every class. I've even played Ranger a lot recently. This is not the end all be all of all tier lists. This is a tier list that I feel I can put out there, and a lot of other players that I play with can mostly agree with. We may have like one or two differences, but overall, we have the same feel for it. And I think all the classes should have a thing that makes them stand out, but I want all the classes to be able to compete with each other. And right now, that's not true. There's some classes that break parity, and it makes it really different to do it. So we're gonna start with. Right, I'm gonna go in order. If you guys ever look at the game, it goes Warrior, Sorc, Ninja, Monk, Ranger, and now Dragoon. So we're gonna go over the 6 classes. So in solos, you're by yourself. You don't have a team. So we'll go in order. Warrior, I think Warrior is a solid A tier. That's just how I feel. Warrior is the best melee in the game besides Monk and Red Fist, but Monk and Red Fist only gets that one time per game. And if a bot beams you, you just lost your Red Fist for no reason. Dragoon, like, sure they can like lock you, but like if you're playing like Rush Warrior or Puncture Warrior, you just kind of like play around Dragoon melee. So overall, Warrior is like the king of melee from the second they hit the ground to the end of the game. Right now, they are like the staple for melee classes, having the dash that gives them a shield that you can loop on a 1 second cooldown. I think it's incredibly crazy. We'll go to Sword. For solos, I wanna. I'm gonna put it. So I thought about this like a lot. I thought about this choice a lot, right? So the debate was putting it in B, putting it down here in B, or putting it in A, right? Because what makes Sorcerer so good is Trance. Trance has a long cooldown. Or for the second you have Trance, for the minute you have Trance, you're the best class in the game. You might as well be an S class if you're played by a good player, because you have fires, you have unlimited heals, you have unlimited arrows, whatever you're trying to use, you have unlimited of. The reason why, like, if we're looking at like the average player, we'd probably put it at B because they may use Trance at the wrong time. But I think it's still part of the Holy Trinity. And to wrap that up, the next class I'm gonna go over is Ninja. Sorc, but yeah, overall Sorc I think is very strong. It is a strong class, especially with Thunder having the wider AoE. Being able to crit if you want the crit, being able to heal if you want the heal. Blizzard having 4 shots instead of 1, so it's not as easy to dodge and has a higher rate of fire. Fire throwing 3 fireballs, so like it covers a little bit more. I think, and being able to upgrade your spells to do more damage kind of brings Sorc up there, because sometimes you can one-shot a player and they can't do anything. And then we move on to Ninja. Ninja definitely an A tier. The player that's behind this class can make this class S tier. Player behind this class can make this class C tier. Ninja is the king of movement, as I like to call him in the game. Like, it is the most slippery class. It has double jump, has smoke dagger. It can get anywhere it needs to in the game. It can dodge melee combos with how double jump works. You can double jump fireballs, like double jump shoot. Like, there's a whole bunch like then because Ninja has the ability to double jump and no other class has that, it opens up a lot of mobility and versatility, and in solos you need that. So I think Ninja's a solid A tier, and this is what I call the Holy Trinity. Called it since the dawn of fucking the game. I think these are the three best classes in the game, hands down. I think the other classes like have moments where they compete with like Monk, Red Fist, stuff like that. But overall, these classes stay here because they are a solid and a staple. Warrior has the best melee, Sorcerer has the best material usage, and Ninja has the best movement. Like you have to compete in those categories of those classes to knock them out of this Holy Trinity. We'll go to the next one, which is Monk. I think Monk is a very solid B tier. It has good heals. Mana wall's alright, but you can still get shot in the toes sometimes. And nobody wants to sit there because then if you sit by the wall, people will fireball you into your wall. You have nowhere to go. Red Fist is extremely scary, but like I've said before, if you get popped early by a bot or players are just tagging you with snipers and they don't let you get close, once they pop that Red Fist, they just disengage until your Red Fist is gone. You lose your God mode. But overall, as a solo class, it is very strong. If you're not playing Warrior, you have good melee. And if you do pop Red Fist, you definitely just jump straight up to A tier for about a minute, because that's how long Red Fist lasts. You jump up to A tier, you're up there, you're doing good. Yeah, I think overall Monk is benefits it can provide you is like the shield to like block doorways and everything. So you can get away, pull back, be safe. You can heal. It's an overall solid solo class, but compared to the above three, it's hard to push past them. Next, we're gonna go down here. We're gonna Ranger. Ranger is a class that I've always deemed as like the worst class. But if we're looking at it from the solo standpoint, right, you're by yourself. You're a Ranger. You're going to click scan. Most of the time, you're gonna see the person, anyways. You're never going to use control because that leaves you outside of your body and you could just get headshotted and then just die. If you're looking at like just the above four classes, Ranger loses to Monk in a melee fight. If they're shooting, then we're going to put everybody on like the average skill level, right? We're not putting them on like some WCG, Scion, Cosmo level. We're putting, this is the average player, right? Because if like we're putting Doves, and all them, Ninja would be S tier, Warrior would still be A. Like we'd move Monk up because Itera and all of them play that. Move Ranger maybe up a little bit. It depends on who's playing the class. But we're looking at the average player. The average player, Ranger doesn't do enough. You're not beating a Warrior in a melee fight. You're not beating a Sorcerer in a materia fight. You're not beating a Ninja and getting away or getting somewhere quicker because you don't have as much mobility as him. You can't out-heal a Monk or out-damage a Monk because they have Red Fist still. All you can do is scan somebody and be like, I know where you are and I know how much health you have. Besides that, you also give away your location to the whole lobby. It used to be way worse, but now it still is enough to give your location away. So I honestly think in solos, Ranger is the worst class to play. And then last but not least, Dragoon. I think they keep making good changes to this class. Dragoon being a B tier, I think, is very solid. I think he is the closest class to touching Ninja mobility because of jump and how that works. But I'm glad to see after the class came out, they try to tweak it a little bit more. They try to make the melee better so it can compete with Warriors. It's not on the level of that yet, but it is getting there. They're tweaking the flying because now you can turn both cameras, give you more accessibility. So it's good to see that they're not just releasing the class and then ignoring it. It's good to see that they're working with it. I think Dragoon is very good for your shooter type players because whenever you get jumped onto by materia or melee users, you can just press jump, fly away. Since you're hoping they're not a good shot because it's like the average player, you can probably fly away a good distance before you get lit up. Yeah. But I think overall solos, it's very, very different. Now we're gonna come to. I'm gonna change this. No. We're gonna. I thought about putting this in S tier, right? I'm gonna be verbal about this. I thought about warrior being S tier, and the reason why is because this is solos. And early game, you get jumped on by a warrior, you're dead. Mid to late game, warrior can combo you into a fireball, warrior can combo you into a gunshot. You can't press up against it. I really thought about putting this in S tier. People were like, "Oh, you're a warrior main." No, I'm not looking at this as a warrior main. I'm trying to look at this as a like what class do I think can stick the whole game and be solid, and that's ninja and warrior. I think ninja and warrior could probably be S tier, but that's how I feel about it here. We'll go teams tier list. I'll go in the same way. I think warrior's still very solid. And teams warrior's not as crazy because, well, it is and it isn't. Depends on your team, right? So if you have a good team that can like support you while you're going in, you don't have to worry about much. But if you're going against a team that can shoot and light you up, the second you go in, you're gonna die. Like that's, or like the old meta where people used to just gravity themselves so their teammate could shoot you. That's another thing that could happen. And then we have Sorcerer. Sorcerer is still solid. Now he's A bordering S instead of B bordering A, right? Instead of being in between these two slots, now he's in between these two slots because here now when he pops trance, raises 1 mana and it's already upgraded. He can throw infinite fires, throw infinite cures. Like it opens up so much that he can do for a team that it's just crazy. And then we have Ninja. Like Ninja, very solid. Very solid class. Still. King of movement. You want to put this on like your slipperiest player so you can keep providing either gunfire, distractions, whatever your team needs. Like this is why I call them the Holy Trinity, because like these three very solid classes will always get done what you want to get done in the game. Like I think they are right there. Next we have Monk. Alright, so this I took a recommendation from a dear friend. And I thought about it 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 and I wanted to be so against it, right? But if I'm breaking down overall what the class is capable of and what the class can do for the team, I literally think this is an S tier class. I think Monk is a super solid class. Let me explain why. Everybody's typing in chat. Why isn't Sorcerer Warrior up there? Why isn't this? All right, let me break this down for you. I had to look at this from a different point of view. I was gonna put this in A tier, right? I plan on putting Monk in A tier, but we're gonna put Monk in S tier. This is how I plan on looking at it. When we get down to class skill, you understand why. But so Monk can heal, remove poisons for the team, and when we come to custom lobbies and stuff like that, potions and stuff is gonna be scarce. And I realized that when I played East Asia, like resources get scarce. And Monk having a way to heal that doesn't cost anything and it's on a shorter cooldown, or having wall, and then being a person that can get hit and you start healing for part of the damage, so you're never taking the full damage, so you're not using as much resources. And then whenever you're in a tight situation, you pop Red Fist. If you got a potion ticking, now you're in God mode. Like you're for 1 minute, nobody wants to fuck with you because you can hit a drop kick that can stun people. Which during that stun, your teammate can laser that person, or you can just drop kick them, punch them a couple times because you're guaranteed crits. Build stagger, one punch them, move on to the next guy. I think in teams, Monk is probably one of the scariest classes to run into because it could wipe out your whole team. All these other classes have to do something in a couple of seconds to wipe out your whole team. Monk can literally just drop kick across all of you, end your life. I think in teams, Monk is probably the scariest class right now, and that's how I feel about it. If you disagree, we agree to disagree. But I agree with my friend who recommended this, and after like sitting down for the past week and thinking about it when I was writing up this tier list, I can agree with Monk being here. Now we're gonna somebody gets promoted. Ranger moves from C to B. Why? Because now it is a team game. Now you have these people above you to support you, and now you can scan to give them information. Like if a warrior wants to know to go in, and you scan and you hit somebody that's like less than 100 HP, the warrior's like, oh, one single rush, couple splashes, guy's dead. your sword can figure out what they want to do. Ninja can jump to get the high ground to later somebody, or find a way to get to the people he needs to, or know if he needs to run away. Like Ranger becomes more usable than in solos because when you ping, sure everybody knows where you are, but you have a team with you now, so you're not by yourself. And then lastly, we're gonna put Dragoon back in B. I think he's a solid class. He doesn't stand out too much. He's a solo class. He doesn't offer anything to the team. So you put this on a player that you think is rather solid and let him shoot, let him fly, let him do what he wants. I think this is a solid B tier, and I think this is my tier list for teams. And if you guys have any question about tier list, write your own tier list down in the comments. Write your hate or disbelief of things that I've said in the comments. We can have a discussion, or you can come over to the Discord, go to First Soldier, type you hate my tier list, here's my tier list, and we can discuss it. All right, now we're gonna. So what this tier list is: class skills and passive tier list. So what this is going to be is, so I'll go through the first one, and that'll be like Warrior. I think it's Warrior Rush and Survivor Spoils. To describe, I'll go over a brief summary of what these things do, so you guys understand what they do. So Rush is at level 3, because I'm going to try and talk about it at level 3. It's the warrior skill I use the most. At level 3, it's a 5-second cooldown of you pressing the skill, and it dashes you a certain amount of forward, gives you 100 health shield. That is what we're talking about. We're talking about Rush, and we're talking about the skill, because that's your ability. And so this would be ability / skill. So ability / skill to this. Survivor Spoils is whenever you defeat an enemy candidate, you get a certain amount of health back. So as a warrior player, you get to go in, kill somebody, and get health back. Or you can down somebody, go fight his teammate, and say that guy lights you up, but your teammate kills the guy you knocked, you'll get health while fighting this guy now. So now you don't need potions. I think the healing abilities are absurd. Rush, spoil is what we're going to call it. I think this is an S tier thing because Rush is so overpowered as a, hey, every 5 seconds you can get 100 health shield, and when you kill somebody you get healed, and that's not using potions, that's instant health. I think this is an S tier skill. Now if we move it down, when we go to Rush counter shield, I'm going to put this like C tier. So this is like Rush counter. What this is, counter shield is when you take damage, it creates a barrier from the angle you took the damage at, but it's only once per level. The fact that it's once per level and it stays stationary. So like if I was to get, let me get this for demonstration purposes. If I was to hit you right here, a shield would pop up right here. But if you moved here, the shield is still right here. And it's only once per level. So it's to stop people from like focus firing. So if someone hit you with like a lethal or an automatic gun, they'd hit you here, then the shield will pop up and the shield will start eating bullets. But snipers, you're getting hit by the sniper, then the shield pops up. So I think the shield needs to either stick with the character and move with them, or needs a little bit more. I don't think it's worse because you still have Rush to fall back on, which is why Rush is here. I think that's why it belongs in C, because you still have Rush, which Rush is crazy. And then we're gonna have Rush and Threaten. What Rush and Threaten do? Threaten is when you attack monsters or enemy players. With your melee attacks, you reduce their movement speed. So think of like Blizzard Slow, but it's on your melee attack. But the problem with this is it gets countered by Jeweled Amulet for some reason. I don't know why, because I guess it's because it's a slow, and Jeweled Amulet says you're immune to it. So I put it at B tier because not everybody's going to always have Jeweled Amulet. Usually it's your final circle fights going to have it, which makes this unnecessary. But early fights, you can hit people with it. They're slowed down. You can stick to them like like white on rice and just beat them up. So I think Threaten's a very, very solid one. Now we're going to come to Sorcerer. And we're going to go down from there. The first ability you get as Sorc is called Arcane Field. Arcane, and then the first skill you get, pretty sure, is Etheric Drain, which is originally called Drain. Because I have all mine unlocked, but I'm gonna go with Drain. So Arcane Field is kind of okay. To explain how it works, it creates a field, creates a little circle on the ground. You've probably seen it in game. Sorry, my nose is terribly itchy today. Creates a circle, looks like a big ass clock, and when you touch it, it puts a clock thing around you. It increases your MP recovery speed and your cooldown speed for a short amount of time when you have that buff on you. And it's about like 1 mana bar's worth, and then once you get it, it'll fall off, and then you can step back in the circle to re-get the buff. That way your cooldowns are coming back faster, and it can affect everybody, teams and enemies. That's why I'm not ranking it too high, because enemies can also use this if they push you out of it with like a fire or a thunder, and then you don't even have your own arcane circle. And then Etheric Drain. Etheric Drain is kind of like Spoils, kind of crazy, but it's better than Spoils, because Spoils only triggered when you killed a player. Etheric Drain triggers when you kill monsters or players. And it also has the tacked on thing. If you're taking damage, your MP recovery time is reduced. So if you're shooting at me and I'm running, I'm getting mana back faster. And then, say we run past a group of hedgehogs and I have fire. I can just throw fire, kill a hedgehog, get HP back, and that 1 mana I lost, you're shooting at me, I'm going to get that 1 mana back faster. And then if I'm in a team fight, and I'm low on potions or low on HP, and I kill your teammate, that my warrior down, now my warrior's going to get healed, and I'm going to get healed, and we can both keep fighting. I think Drain is what saves us, because I think Arcane Circle is an okay. You're probably going to see a lot in B tier here. I think Arcane Circle is solid. I think Drain is crazy. I think all of the healing passives are super strong. And we'll move on to the next one. Oh wait, I apologize. Sorry, we skipped some. We skipped a whole portion, right? All right, let me go back. All right, now we have Puncture and Spoils. I forgot we have this. We're gonna have a total of 36, I think. 6 times 6, yeah, 36. We're gonna have 36. So we're definitely gonna run out of rooms. Punisher and Spoils. Puncture Warrior is a very solid thing. It increases your melee attack damage, your melee attack range, and your movement speed. And with Spoils, you heal. You just go full Unga Bunga mode, eat your red crayon, and you just dash in there and just start beating people in the face. You don't care. You just go for it. I think it's a very solid thing. Unlike Rush, you give up mobility, but for more damage. It's on a longer cooldown, yes, but you can just obliterate people. There used to be, it's probably still a thing. There was the old one-shot stagger combo. You would jump, if you were close to somebody, jump, hit them with the jumping attack, then go into your regular combo, and by the time you hit them with the dunk, they were dead. That was the old one-shot combo. I don't know if it still works. I haven't tested it myself, but definitely solid. Then we got Punisher and Counter. So like I think Counter is what brings us down. I think Punisher is solid, but I think Counter needs to be changed. Like I've said before, it staying in that one spot doesn't offer you much. So I think that needs to be changed. And then we have Punisher and Threaten, which is more of an A tier thing because Punisher wants to just bully people. And with that, they kind of get to do that thing. They get to stick to you because they're going to be faster. They get to slow you, and it just does crazy damage. All right, now we'll go back to Sorc because I definitely almost forgot that there's two classes for you. Well, two abilities for each class. All right, so we did Arcane and Drain. Now we have like Arcane and Crit. I think this combo is not that good. Arcane and precise, or call it precise casting or something like that. Precise. So what precise casting is, there's a chance you can critically hit with your materia, with damaging materia. So thunder, blizzard, fire, bio now because it can hit for 14s. What else does it? Comet, like things like that, you have a chance to crit with. And if you can crit fireballs, level 3 fireballs, and your staff is fully upgraded, you can one-shot a player, give or take. But because you have Arcane Field, you're not really abusing this because, sure, if you start spamming your spells, your mana is going to go away. And you'll see when we get to Trance why I think Trance is broken. And then we're going to come down here. Oh, God. This is the first D that we'll get to. Arcane and Reinvigorate. B-I-G-T. Reinvigorate. What Reinvigorate does is, which I think needs to be changed overall, this is their attempt to put a white mage in the game. For those of you who don't know, this is their attempt to put a white mage in the game. It increases the effect of HP recovery that you perform with the exemption of consumables. So the only thing this enhances in the game is Cure. Only thing this enhances. I think Reinvigorate needs to be reworked. With Arcane, it does not do enough. Now we're gonna go here, and we'll do the good old Trance and Drain. Is that what I called it? Yeah, Drain. I think, just like before with Spoils, it is a Trance is a type of God mode. If you don't know what Trance is, when you activate it, you get reduced MP cost, increase MP recovery speed, increase your materia level by 1, and increase your movement speed. So if you have level 1 materia goes to level 2, you move faster. Your stuff becomes free. Anything that's 3 costs or less becomes free. Increase your melee recovery speed, your MP recovery speed. So when you throw a spell, it comes back faster. So you're spamming fireballs, you're spamming arrows, cures, gravities, teleports, everything that's 3 or less, you're just throwing it out there. And because Drain says, hey, you get healed for that. If you need a potion or a dire situation, you pop Trance, you can throw fireballs at people, drop thunder on some hedgehogs or a slug rays, and just blow those up, get some health. Now you're just still aggressively attacking people. It lets you have a way to heal and be aggressive at the same time. And besides Trance's long cooldown, overall, this combination is scary because you're able to fight a whole team almost by yourself, if not by yourself. I'm gonna put the next one here, Trance, precise. Right, we need to get this one. All right, we have to make it a little bit smaller. Trance / precise. What this is, same thing with crit. The reason why I'm not putting it up in S here, because I really want to, it's still a chance to crit. You'll end up getting the crits more often than not, but you don't have that way to heal. So if you're just getting lit up while you're trying to cast all these spells, you're not going to get healed from killing one, and then you still have to deal with the other 2 teammates. So that means you have to change your playstyle. So instead of running like 2 offensive spells like Fire and Thunder and then playing Arrow for like safety to bounce around, you have to run like Fire, Cure, Arrow, or other combinations to keep yourself alive since you can't heal off of monsters and you're not getting the passive MP from Drain. So it is a very solid choice. I just don't think it's as good as Drain. And then it's also going to go down here. Actually, it's probably C tier here. We'll put Trance, Reinvig. Reinvig. We're just going to call it Reinvig because Reinvigorate is a long ass word. Now I need to zoom out more again. I'm sorry if this is getting really hard to see, but the fact that this is only 2 classes. The reason why I'm ranking it higher than Arcane, because remember, Arcane is just a circle. You still have to spend that mana, so you're still spending 3 mana for a cure that's going to be buffed. But then you have to wait forever to get the 30 mana back. Trance, the cure is free. It's buffed, so you can almost one heal your full team's health bar. And it's going to be coming back faster. You move faster. So at least here, it's a little bit more viable. And I think that's very solid. Now let's go to Ninja. So this one, it's kind of been in the works for how it's been going. I really didn't know how to rank some of this stuff because I don't see or use a lot of it, but I tried to use some of it off screen, off stream to do stuff. So the first one we're gonna do, because I don't know what order these things unlock, we're just gonna go based off what I can remember off the top of my head. We're gonna go with like, I don't know if I want this in B or C. We'll put it in B. We'll put it's gonna be hide and retreat. So what hide does, if you don't know, turns you invisible, and very briefly every now and then you'll flash a green little Mako flame, so people can kind of see you, but they'll still see your footprint markers every now and then. So you're not completely invisible, but with retreat, and short damage after a short amount of time after you take some damage, you move a little bit faster. So you get to use your invisibility the most you can to get further away. And they made it now to where when you're in hide, you can still use potions. So that way, you're not just sitting there dying while you're invisible. Next, this is more like a playstyle thing, I guess. We'll do hide, Lightfoot. What Lightfoot does is it reduces the sound of your footsteps. I use this for the longest time when I play Ninja because that way you didn't know I was coming up to you until I was a little bit closer. But overall, it provides you nothing in an actual fight. Unlike retreat, it lets you move faster and do stuff. Hide still being the same. And then last thing, I think this combo is just not that good. Hide / Escapist. We'll put escape B as escape. What Escapist does is it increases your movement speed while you're in the zone. If you like to be a zone player and like sit in the zone, sure. But I think running hide with it, not that good. Because sure, you're invisible in the zone, moving faster, but that's not going to help you in a team fight. It's not going to help you in certain situations. Cool, like you can make some weird final circle rotation plays, but the zone hurts so bad, you're only going to take like 2 ticks of it anyways. By the time you take the 3rd tick, you're dead. I think zone hurts way too much in this game to be running skills like this. Alright, now we go on to the next one. I think this is very solid. We'll call it Blade, comma, and then the first one is retreat. Retreat. Blade shift, if you guys don't know what it is, it allows the ninja to throw a blade a certain amount of distance. When the blade comes in contact with something, you teleport to it. So you can climb walls with this. You can hit a player with it. The dagger does 30 damage, and you could teleport to the player. Retreat, giving you that movement speed. This is a really good tool. Lets you get away out of situations, get into situations. Lets you do a lot of fun things. Then we'll put Blade on Lightfoot. Blade shift still kind of carries this because we'll just do Blade shift is just super good as a mobility tool. And then last but not least, Blade shift escape. I think escape is just not necessary in this meta because Storm hurts so much. Because Storm hurts so much that it's just not that strong. But you could prove me wrong and show me some crazy escape plays from like some earlier zones, and I would understand, I guess. But I think late game zones, escape is just brings you down way too much. Move on to Monk. Monk's first thing you get is Mana Wall. What Mana Wall is, it's a wall, literally, like a little dome, it's half a dome. You can put in front of you, it'll block damage for a small amount of time or until it takes too much damage. The amount of damage it takes is way too fucking much for you to worry about it breaking. It used to break very easily, now it takes way too much damage to break it. So you never have to worry about somebody breaking your shield right now. And then the first skill you get, I'm pretty sure, is Leech Fist, which Leech Fist is very solid. So we'll put that at like a good B. We'll put wall / fist. What Leech Fist does is a portion of the damage you do for your melee attacks heals you. Remember, Monk has Red Fist. Red Fist guarantees you're going to crit, and it gives you access to a drop kick ability that does 100 damage. So if you heal for that, and then you just 2-tap somebody, you just healed a lot of your health, and you have a wall, so like if somebody's trying to kill you, and you just pop Red Fist, you can drop the wall, let Red Fist start healing you, because Red Fist also heals you every time, pop a potion, and now you can just fully engage with that Red Fist, and just run people down. Then we have, I think wall's what brings this down, but we're also gonna put it here as well. Wall. Yeah, wall and I'm gonna call it strength. Yeah, strength. Wall and strength. What awakened strength is, it increases the automatic recovery rate for your Red Fist. So Red Fist pops out, I think, at like 20% health. Now it would pop at like 30% health, which can be a good thing or a bad thing. Early game is trash because one bot can pop your Red Fist super early and then you're fucked the whole game. Late game, it lets you pop a little bit earlier so you can use it more aggressively in fights. I think overall, strength is okay, depending on how you play it. I think wall is what brings it down. But overall, I think strength is very solid because it lets you either be a more aggressive playstyle and let your Red Fist pop sooner than opponents suspect, or it will not help you as much. And then this one, like Monk is a very solid class, so we're gonna have a lot here. Let me. We are. Give me a second, everybody. Sorry. Then we have wall and like Monk is a very solid class, and this is why I think it's the best class in teams. Like honestly, what Chakra does, Chakra Unleashed, it immediately recovers a amount of HP when a certain amount of HP is received, but it only does it once per level, which is better than the counter shit, because the counter shit from Warrior, just you get hit and it's like, okay, but it's not healing you. You still took the damage. Chakra says, hey, you got hit really hard, I'm gonna heal you a certain amount of HP. Sure, you can keep getting shot from that angle, but the fact that it's healing you is why I put it over counter. Because counter, it's a piece of, it's like a small little shield, and it only pops up after you took the damage and you're not getting healed. This, you took the damage, but you're getting healed for it, and it can happen once every match, which I think is very solid. All right, now we come to like the good shit. Chakra Field and Leech Fist. What Chakra Field does is it puts down a circle that can remove poisons from bio and recovers HP for you and your team. So your team just got downed. You can literally heal them. You can do all kinds of things. I think Chakra and Leech Fist is gas. Lets you have more team play. And then we have. I'm gonna put it. I think this is one of the worst ones monks have, which I'll just say it's like Chakra. I'm like slowly losing my voice, so CHAKRA, Chakra, and Strength. Because with Chakra, you can keep your health up because you don't want to pop. You want to be able to control when your Red Fist pops because that's your God mode. And Strength kind of says, hey, we're going to pop it a little bit earlier. And Chakra's like, but I could have just healed. And so that's why I think it's the weaker of the monk things. But overall, very, very solid. And then we'll put this one here and we'll just put Chakra, Chakra. So you have Chakra Field to heal you, and then you have Chakra Unleashed, which would heal you when you take a certain amount of damage. So you just become like a tanky motherfucker that just doesn't die. You can sit there, drop your whale, and start having gunfights with somebody because you're passively healing. If they do too much damage to you because you're losing the gunfight, you're going to heal a portion back, and that person has to either stop to shoot you to pop a potion, or you just keep the gunfight up. And I think overall that is a very solid way of looking at things. Move on to, this is where a lot of bad combinations are going to come together. Here we go. All right. So let me talk about the worst class in the game. I hope everybody can still see everything. Fine. All right. So, as a overall thing, I don't know what the Ranger starts with, but we'll put it like this. This is a solid thing. You have Assess, which I think it's S is not C's. Assess, and then we'll call it a Q because that's what I use when I played Ranger. Assess is a very solid skill, but the fact that it shows, so what Assess does, it marks nearby enemy candidates, monsters, blizzard effects, gravities, stuff like that, to show you where they are, show you how much HP they have. But it sends out this pulse that everybody can fucking see. And then what Acute Sense does is when someone is aiming down sights and looking at you, you see the glint. That glint, I underestimated at first, but you can see that shit across the map. So you know where people are exactly when they're aiming at you. You can call that shit out to your team, even if they're outside of assess distance. So I think this is a good, solid B tier. Definitely, like, I think what Ranger's best setup for now. Then we have Assess literally carries this one, right? So Assess, comma, Silencer. So Silencer doesn't do shit. Like, you can still hear the gunshots almost across the way. It doesn't muffle your gunshots enough. People can still hear it. Yeah, Assess is what carries this one. And then we're gonna keep Assess here again. Assess and Sniper. Yeah, what Silencer does, Silencer just makes your gunshots quieter unless you have a unique weapon, makes those stay loud as hell. Sniper's Eye, whenever you have your scope on somebody long enough, it'll mark them, or if you do enough damage, it'll mark them, just like if you scanned with Assess. So, sure, if you're a long-range player for your team, you can do that, so you can provide health totals, but it requires you to either look down sights, and like, I think this is more of a solo type thing, not a team type thing. All right, now we're gonna get into what I think is just, we're gonna have a lot here. We're just gonna put all of them here real quick. Control, comma, Acute, Control, comma, Silencer. Keep forgetting the E in Silencer for some reason. And Control, comma, Sniper. I think Control is the worst ability in the game. If you guys don't know what Control does, Control lets you control a slug ray. You leave your body right where it's at. You get to operate a drone. It gets about 4 or 5 bursts. Each burst can do about 50 damage if you can actually lock onto it. And then if you can get point blank with your drone when it ends up, or when you want to blow it up, it can do about 70 damage. So in theory, somebody that's sniping that's not paying attention, you could shoot them a whole bunch of them, blow up the drone, they die. But you're leaving your body unattended, and you could just instantly lose your life because of that. And the fact that you could just lose your life for leaving your body unattended, not worth it. I literally think Control is the worst skill in the game and needs to be changed. All right, now we move on to Dragoon. We got Jump. We got Jump, and the hell is the first thing they gave us? Aerial Wall. I don't remember. Aerial. All right, what jump does? Very simple. You jump really high in the air. And Dragoon's able to fly after that, or they can shoot whoever they want. Aerial wall said, as long as you're above somebody and in the air, you don't have to be flying. You could have just jumped. You could have jumped off of a cliff. As long as you are above that person, you take reduced damage. It's kind of like counter from Warrior, kind of like counter, but better because remember, counter stayed in one spot. Aerial wall stays with you no matter where you're at, as long as you're above people. So jump is really great mobility and does what you need. And then we'll have jump and wide swing. We'll call it wide. So if you're more of a melee type player like myself, wide swing and let it, so as long as you're chaining your combo, the swings get bigger, so you can connect them more consecutively and make sure you're getting your melee combos in. And then last, I think this one is heavily arguable. If some people don't like me, dragons. Dragon's Ire is a thing when it says you take damage from an enemy, a mark will be placed on it. It puts a big ass red circle on you. When you do damage to the person that has the mark, you reduce their MP. So say you're getting shot at and somebody needs mana to throw fire or arrow or heals, and you just start shooting them. You just start taking their mana away. So now they don't have mana because they wanted to shoot you. I think Dragon's Ire is crazy. And as we talk about the next set of things, we will go into that. So then we have, with this one, we're going to put this like down here because this is more materia dependent now. So now we have dragons. We'll call it favor. Favor, favor, and the first one was wall. Aerial wall. Aerial. The reason why I don't think this one's that good because you don't have jump to trigger aerial wall. You have to have arrow, or you have to be jumping off a cliff. So like you won't be using aerial wall that much. But it's still, Dragon's Favor is super strong. If you don't know what it is, kind of like Punisher, but it's for Dragoon. And what it does is, for a short amount of time, it increases your movement speed, applies a bleed on your auto attacks, kind of like poison, but bleed can actually kill somebody. Your melee attacks absorb MP, so when you're hitting somebody, you get their MP, kind of like the drain ability. And then whenever you kill somebody, either downing them or kill them while this is active, you get HP. So I think that is super solid. And then we have favor and wide. Favor and wide, same thing. Because your melee attacks now just became more threatening and you can take stuff and you can rush people down, wide swings making those melee attacks hit, super scary. And then last thing that I think, and I will put it up here, favor, if I can type, favor, and what's the last one? I'm blanking right now. Dragons. The reason why is this, because when you're in favor, you're taking mana away. When you're not in favor, you're taking mana away. And both forms benefit you. So you have a way to heal with Dragon's Favor. And if you're gunning somebody down, because the funny thing is, I don't think your melee attacks have to be the way to kill them. I think you just have to shoot them while Dragon's Favor is alive and you can heal. I haven't fully tested that one. I need to test that. But I think this is how things are. So we go over it, and we're going to go over all the tier lists, and we'll talk. So for my solo tier list, I don't think anything is S tier. Some people want to say Warrior is. I think it can be countered by some of these other classes, and this is the average player, not looking at top players. A tier, we have Warrior, Sword, Ninja. B tier, we have Monk, Dragoon. C tier, we have Ranger. Teams, we're going to go S tier, Monk. A tier, Warrior, Sword, Ninja. B tier, Ranger, Dragoon. Nothing in C tier for teams. Class ability / skill combinations. In your S tier, we have Rush with Survivor Spoils, Trance with Etheric Drain, High Jump with Dragon's Favor, Dragon's Ire, and then Dragon's Favor with Dragon's Ire for Dragoon. In A tier, we have Punisher with Spoils, Punisher with Threaten, then we have Trance with Precise Casting, we have Ninja with Blade and Retreat, then we have Monk with Chakra and Leech Fist, Then we have Dragoon with Jump Aerial, Jump Wide, and Dragon's Favor Wide. Very, very all good solid choices. In B tier, we have Warrior Rush with Threaten, Arcane Field with Drain, we have Hide with Retreat, we have Blade with Lightfoot, and then we go to Monk, which has Mana Wall with Leech Fist, Mana Wall with Strength, Mana Wall with Chakra, Chakra with Chakra. Then you have Ranger with Assess, and Dragons with Favor and Aerial. Monk is a very good, solid class with most of their things. You can't really go wrong with a lot of Monk things. Then we come to C tier. You have Rush and Counter, Punisher and Counter. I think both of those. I think Counter needs a rework. Arcane with Precise Casting, Transfer Reinvigorate, Hide with Lightfoot, Chakra with Strength, Assess with Silencer, and Assess with Sniper. And then finally, what I think are the worst combos in the game: Arcane Circle for Reinvigorate, Hide with Escape, Blade Shift with Escape, Control, all three versions of Control. I think Control needs to be heavily reworked. If you guys have your own version of this that you'd like to send me or anything, or your own tier list that you would like to have, drop it in the comments below. Come to the Discord. The Discord link will be down below. Join. Come give me your opinion. I like to hear feedback from everybody. I like to try and keep this updated. This will be the tier list for now for myself. And then next season, whenever we get a new class or something else comes out, we'll update it. We'll go over this again, see if anything's changed. And I like to see what everybody thinks of it from that point on. I appreciate all you guys. If you haven't already, drop a like, leave a follow, and click the bell thing so whenever I post a new video, you'll see it. I appreciate all of you. Love you guys. By the time this goes live, I'll probably be streaming, so go to the description, check it out, twitch.tv/legit vocals. Come stop by, come say hi, come tell me you didn't like the tier list, come tell me you like the tier list. Until next time, I'll see you guys.